I worked the last 5 years for Epic Games and Quixel Megascans, so I know something about good textures. Let me show you my top 5 site for textures and atlases. You will be surprised, Quixel Megascans isn't number 1. Stick around to the end to get a valuable tip when using pre-made textures. So let's get started. So let's start with Polygon. That looks like a really nice site, I have to say. And we can already see models, textures and HDRIs. So here we have textures overall, not really that much, close to 450. I wonder what they have under terrain here. Ah, okay. Aerial walk 1. Okay, that looks really nice. And can we see, so this is a community based site. I guess everybody can join here, so let's go back to the main library, textures, and let's check out, for instance, that one looks nice, Genghis River. So here we have the breakdown, that's the real picture, so that's your rulers and your color checker, and here we have the breakdown of the map, so there are always 1K in this preview here. Oh nice, and you can zoom in. Oh, and it's getting up to 2K. And now it's getting up to 4K. Okay, that's really neat. Oh, that's cool. And they have a really nice 3D browser from what I can remember. No, not 3D browser, preview. There's a little bit of stretching in the sphere, but yeah, that's because on how the sphere works. And we can turn on the wireframe. Pretty sure, yeah, we can change the background and the lighting. Oh, that's really, really cool. I like the browser. Ah, and here we can switch to the channels, normal and base color or diffuse, that's more a base color. Okay, here we can see the person who made the texture and the person who adjusted the texture. That's really cool, I like this. And you can download it for Blender and other formats, or you can also just download the texture you want. Oh, and you can change the normal direction. That's really neat. So Polygon is, well, not open source, but it's community based. So they have like a Patreon site where you can become a Patreon with different tiers, sponsor, stakeholder. And if you go back to the site and back to the assets and textures, they have like these EA textures. Well, that's not Electronic Arts, that's early access. So for $3 or more, you can get early access to some of the scans, which is a nice idea. Oh, and here you can see the Patreon, so that's nice. So from what I can see, there is not even really a point where you can pay for it. I guess let's check out another texture. You can just download it and always make sure to read the license terms like CC0. Okay, that should be fine to use for a lot of stuff, but you can just pay them over Patreon. That's yeah, that's really nice. I remember Polygon because of the blog they have, because in this blog they have nice how-to articles. If you are into photogrammetry, I really suggest checking out this blog. At some point they even had like a breakdown where you can print out a 3D print files for your scanner. And they have different community projects, so it's really cool. You really should consider checking out the blog. It's really well written. I'm a huge fan of it. So the next site we have is called Polygon. I don't know why are there 2 eyes. That's confusing me. But yeah, that's the site we have. Also HDRIs, also models. But we mainly focus on textures. And let's click on what's new. Well, we don't want models, so I guess not what's new. Let's hit textures. So let's check out the textures. Bugs are always interesting for me. And I'm wondering why it's giving me the wrong currency, but let's ignore that. Let's check out a birch bark. I just scanned a few of them and they're really nice to scan. I like to scan barks. Yeah, that looks solid. That's one part on why is that there. I mean, that should be scale, okay, 45 by 90, but the presentation looks pretty weird to me. 1K to high res. What is high res? Like, okay, cool. What's high res? Just say 1K to 8K, I guess. Let's check out some other textures. Let's check out this one here, like a leaf ground. Ah, that's not so pleasant picture, but the scan itself looks nice. That makes more sense, like 3 meter to 3 meter. Okay, that's a guy. I understand this one better than the one before. And here it's saying 1K to 8K, so I would say that from looking at some of the textures, it looks solid. Some of the rendering images are a bit, I don't know, a bit extreme. I can't put my finger on it what it is, but it annoys me looking at it. It's not pleasant for the eye, I think. But the spheres look nice. Maybe because it's so many little pebbles. But the scan itself, based on the quality, looks really nice. I think here it's losing maybe a little bit. It's maybe getting a little bit blurry. Could be the rendering image, like the renderer they use. But if you zoom in, it's a little bit soft, I think. But still good quality. So let's check out the tools they're offering, because it looks like they have a lot. So they have a Blender plugin, a SketchUp extension, 3D Max and a Cinema 4D, and even a Maya converter. That's a lot of stuff to keep track. So if you have a Blender plugin or a bridge, SketchUp, 3ds Max, Cinema 4D, Maya, that's a lot of stuff you need to take care of. So the pricing is okay, I would say. 18 euros per month and 80 credits. How much is 80 credits? It's 8 textures, 4 models or 8 HDRIs. 8 textures is not much. Also, don't put this in your sales pitch or whatever you want to call this page. Yeah, of course, that should be free. I just paid money for this. Like, cool. Nice that I can free download the stuff I just paid you money for. Well, they have a credit rollover. That's nice. Okay, yeah, based on the price, it's fine. It's okay. So, scans library. I get Megascans flashbacks because you will see why. I know this page. It's close to it. It's not a copy, but let's say it's inspired by Megascans. But what I really like is everything is sorted by locations or biomes or whatever you want to call it. For instance, if we go on locations, we have all these locations here. And let's just go to, let's use the beach forest. So, because it has a lot of assets, hit browse. And then we have everything which is in this beach forest. So, let's say we only want textures because obviously they are offering 3D models, which I can say from experience are really nice. Let's just go on surface, and then we have all the surfaces in this collection, and that's a really nice time saver, because if we like a collection but we don't want models, only textures, we can just hit the button, or let's say atlas, we get all the atlases they have. And yeah, I'm a big fan of filters like that. For me, the presentation is a little bit off. Everything looks super sharp. I don't know why. Maybe they played with the sharpen filter. I'm not a fan of the moss. It looks, I don't know, like rubber a little bit to me. These scans are really nice. In terms of quality, I really like these cliff scans. I don't know, it's something about here the sharpness is fine for me. The quality is really, really good. They also have a nice ID system in place. So if you click, let's switch the texture, let's just use maybe this one. We can see cliff, wet, and the tag. If we click the tag, we get the texture. If we click the texture again and like maybe click cliff, we come back to the cliff section. If we now go back and click wet, we get everything which also has the tag wet in it. Yeah, this tagging system is really nice. They also have like 3D scans, as I mentioned. The next thing we will check out is the pricing. Scans library is quite expensive, like 45 credits for $50, euros, whatever. And they have this revenue under 100k. Like, how do you want to track this? For me, that feels like almost more like a trust system, like this revenue stuff. I'm not sure how they would track this. Non-commercial use, yeah, you could track this if you know your textures pretty well. So that one is just, let's call it the portfolio option, and that one is the I want to make a game option. So it's between $50 and $130 per month. So there's one thing I don't understand with the credits they have. So obviously a credit system is in place for most of the sites, but if I get get a personal license and I spent my 45 credits and I want to give you my money to get more credits, I can't? Like indie business studio, maybe I'm blind, but there's no personal. Like, why? I want to give you my money, take it, I sent it to you. You don't want it? Okay. But 45 credits is fine for the beginning. The only thing you shouldn't do is get a landscape, because one landscape is 30 credits. That's why I'm just looking at the textures. So 4 credits for a texture, that is around 11 textures per month. So if you like this video so far, make sure to subscribe and leave a like and tell me down below in the comments what is your favorite texture site. I'm pretty sure there are a ton more and I can't cover all of them in one video, so we can make a second round. So now it feels like back home again. That's where I spent my last 5 years and they are almost at 20k assets. That's everything, like plants, surfaces, 3D assets, displacements, stuff like that, everything. But let's see how they are doing if we go under surfaces. I always a fan of this stuff here, like filters. I can look for a size I want. Let's say I want maybe a small texture, size 1 to 2 meters, and it should be damaged. So we get a nice damaged concrete floor. That's how Megascans works. The filter system is really powerful and you can clear it and then you can take a look at all the scans they have. Obviously, the quality is just, yeah, it's industry standard. There is a reason why Megascans is used in so much stuff you see these days. It's just a lot of people doing a lot of work and always make sure to be on top of photogrammetry and everything else. So I can't say anything bad about the quality. It still looks the same. It's, yeah, pretty much the best, I would say. Oh, it's close, like it's close to being the best. Really rarely they have a bad one, I would say, like the quality isn't the best, but stuff like that is just great to look at. If we go and check the price, obviously because it is Epic Games Quixel, everything you do with Unreal Engine is free. If you're not using Unreal Engine for whatever reason, you're starting at about $20 a month, but you can use up to 8K resolution. You don't really need this, but it's nice to have. And it's also up to 100k. Yeah, we do revenue, la 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 la. Yeah, 45 surfaces or 22 3D models. I believe them. I don't need to recalculate this. And you have 90 points per month. Yeah, and it's saying if the 90 points are not enough, you can just buy new points. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the atlases. I don't know why. They are good. I'm not saying they are bad, but the next page we are looking at is the industry standard for atlases for me. They are good. I would say out of 10, I would give them an 8. The next one is a 9 out of 10. So that's my favorite one at the moment, textures.com. If we go under 3D scans, quite a lot. Last time I checked, they had about 700 normal 3D scans. And let's go to grass and moss and check out the moss, because moss is complicated. Yeah, I mean, look at that moss. That looks like a picture taken from a random forest floor. It's nice, it's fluffy, the quality is on point. It's so good. I'm a huge fan of this. While we are in this texture, so you can download individual maps, which is nice. Obviously you pay with credits, but for instance, if you just need the normal map for maybe a detail normal and you don't want the albedo or height or whatever, you just download a 2K normal map for 10 credits. 10 credits is not much. We will go over the pricing model in a second. And then you have like 1 meter by 1 meter, 2 meter by 2 meter. Also, I mean, look at this rendering. It's perfect. It's beautiful. And my favorite stuff is scanned atlases, and almost up to 800. Last time was 600 something when I checked. And I mean, for me, they just look better. Maybe it's the presentation, but I know the quality is also really high. They look super sharp. They are really detailed. The opacity map is spot on, and I'm just a fan of the scanned atlases. Whatever I need for foliage, I try to get from this side, and if they don't have it, I go back to Megascans. And let's check out the pricing. under subscribe. I have a monthly subscription here, so 20 euros gives you the Starter Plus pack with 2500 credits per month. We just looked at one texture which was about 10 credits in 2K by 2K, which is a good resolution. If you download a whole texture set, let's check just some asphalt, a little bit over 100 credits. Depends on the quality. If you go 8K, it's more expensive. They also give you direct commercial license. That's really good. So you basically just have a difference in if you need SPS files or 3D foliage, or if you just want textures and normal 3D models. So now we have the important tip I promised you at the beginning. So now we have the valuable tip I promised you at the beginning. All these libraries we saw today, they are here to stay. There are enough people which are claiming you need to create everything from scratch and you need to reinvent the wheel every single time if you want a texture. That's bullshit. These sites are here to help. That's why studios are using these sites, because time is money for them. If they just can download a texture, maybe we edit these textures a little bit and can save a ton of time, they will go for it. So there is no shame in using stuff like that. That's not lazy, that is smart working. So if you have people in your field, colleagues, which are saying, that's lazy, using already done stuff, you need to create everything yourself, ignore them. They have no idea what they're talking about. And if you want to see how to use some of these texture in Unreal Engine 5 to create some nice looking landscape, make sure to check out this video here.